Good night, guys. So I'm late this week because life. Also, this weekend was probably one of the hardest weekends of my life. Something very traumatic happened for me, and I am just very overwhelmed. Oh my god, good night, guys. I'm sorry I've been late, but I'm actually shifting the time of Queens on the Rise to 8 o'clock because I realized 7:30 is a little rushed for me, and considering that, as I said, this was a very traumatic week for me. Just a lot has been going on and I'm very overwhelmed. And it's not a health thing, it was something personal that happened in my family. So I'm gonna begin my first. And it says 8 works better for her. I think 8 is a better, more realistic time, because I realize when I do it later, more people join in closer to 8. So starting this week, we're gonna start doing 8. So I'm gonna play my song this week. The song I'm going to play is Oceans by Hillsong. I really love this song. So let's take a listen.
Find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, and you are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters, your sovereign hand will be my guide. My feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never fail, and you won't stop now. So I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. Spirit, me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders.
Okay, guys, so that song is about believing that God can fix it even when it seems impossible. How I know about that song is I don't know if you guys remember from a couple of years ago when a little boy he drowned actually in, I think it was Wisconsin, and they made a movie about it. And the mother basically prayed her son back to life. He was on life support, and everyone was telling her, he's not coming back. And everyone was just kind of like, he's gone, you need to just let it go. And she said no, and she gave him to Jesus, and she prayed and she prayed and she prayed, and for, I think he was in the hospital for months actually. And in that movie, Oceans was the song that the community sang outside of his window at the hospital. And it was while they were praying, they saw a tear run down his face. Now that's how they depict it in the movie. But in the real life story, I don't know if that's exactly how it went, because they tend to exaggerate things in the movie. I'm gonna tell you the name of the movie. It slipped me because, as I said, today was a very hard day. But this weekend was a very difficult weekend for me. Let me tell you who is in it. Anybody who watches, I don't even remember what that series name, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. It will come back to me. So let me just continue. Sorry guys. As I said, this week kind of threw me off, and this was the first week since I've started Queens on the Rise. I did not want to do it any at all. I was in just a mood of not wanting to do it, and it makes me sad because I think it's a good thing that I'm doing, but a lot of negatives have faced me after starting. But I think when you're at your most difficult moments, that's when you have to push harder, because it's easy to just give up when you don't want to do something, or give up when you're feeling weary. And today I was totally out of it. I did not want to do it. I just didn't want to do it any at all. And I even said it to my dad, and I said it to my auntie, and them saying, no, you have to do it because it's good. So yesterday I went to my first pandemic funeral, and it was held in the Maypen Cemetery because, for whatever reason. Hi K-Boo darling, thank you for joining. Sweets as well, thank you for joining. Cheryl and Anna K, I appreciate you guys joining. I think everyone in here has joined before, and I really appreciate the support, because in this time I think people are forgetting natural social graces, and this pandemic has taught us to cherish every moment and love each other while we still have time. God teaches us many things, but the first in my eyes is to choose love, and we should travel the road together as friends of our community. We need to maintain a sense of gratefulness with friends and fill our lives with love and laughter. I shared that because the funeral that I went to yesterday, well, I can't even call it a funeral. We just stood up at the graveside and sang songs. The pastor did a light message, and we could only be there for 30 minutes. So it was just literally a burial. And it's sad because, the people who are dying are deserving of, it's good people. The people who are dying are mothers and fathers who, Miss Kitty lost her dad, the Beanie Man lost his mom. We lost Black Panther. We're losing people who deserve to be honored in their death because their life was beautiful. And it hurts me because people are, you know, I mean, you have a set of people who are not thinking and being selfish, and then you have a set of people who are losing loved ones, feeling pain, and, you know, we're just not remembering to love and care for each other. And I'm gonna share a scripture from one of the books I always share from, the gratitude book, a prayer and praise coloring journal. So this page says, choose love today. And the activity says, you write down characteristics you appreciate about God, your family, and your friends. So, you know, for God I put, He's loving, He's peaceful, He's merciful even when we don't deserve it. He's protective, powerful, patient with us. God is wise, very forgiving, and magnificent, because many times God could have done things to destroy us, but He's always protecting us in spite of. You know, and then I listed out the things that I love about my family members. So the scripture is, God loves you and has chosen you. That's 1 Thessalonians 1 verse 4. Now, you know, as I said, just hard week, and I'm pushing through because I want to commit. So I'm going to share from this book first, because I think the financial tip for this week is actually something that we really need to work on in this crisis, because money is not coming in as fast, businesses are struggling, people's salaries has been cut, so we have to be wary and mindful. So this week's advice is, avoid the debt trap. Never spend your money before you have it. And that's a statement by Thomas Jefferson. If you know the difference between good debt and bad debt, you can gain money smarts by taking advantage of good debt and getting out from harmful debt. So, you know, this is basically saying, yo, nobody make your credit card limit increase to an amount you know you cannot afford to pay. Don't borrow money that you know you cannot pay back. My premise now when I'm borrowing money is, if I cannot pay back within 6 months to a year, it's better I don't take it. Because I don't know about you guys, when I owe the bank money or owe anybody money, I feel enslaved to that debt until I pay it off. Not everyone is like that. But it's something to think about. Avoid putting yourself into debt, because you don't want, in all of what is happening, you don't want no banker come repossess your car. You don't want any mortgage company to repossess your house. You don't want anything like that, and these things are what we use as collateral. And if you know you can't afford it, do not buy a car in this time. So that's the financial tips for this week. So this book again, I actually shared a video from Sarah Jakes this week on my Instagram page about being anointed to basically fulfill your purpose. So the topic I shared yesterday is to protect your peace, because protecting your peace is what gives you the ability to feel calm, gives you the ability to stay focused and just navigate through life. Because from my experience, it is when I am calm I make the best decisions. It is when I am calm I react the best way, when I'm most strategic, when I just function better. Because, you know, when you're functioning filled with anxiety, or you're functioning angrily, or you're functioning in a way where you're just not feeling positive or calm, it tends to be chaotic. You find you have a lot of moments of confusion, And you don't want that, because you make stupid mistakes when you're in that kind of mode. And as I am working on improving myself, it helps me to stay focused the calmer I am. So, you know, this week I'm gonna share from this book, you know, people's perception. Is basically what she talks about here. You know, she and her family, instead of reading it, I'm going to just tell you guys what it's about. She and her family decided to have a family day, and they all decided to go out to eat at a restaurant. So it's her husband, her stepchildren, and her children. And she had just had her baby, so her baby was young. Her baby was in a car seat, little, like less than 6 months, I believe, or maybe about 6 months. And the baby was screaming in the back while she was driving. And as soon as she stopped the car, her big daughter came out and ran frantically to take out her sister out the car seat. And you know, she said she looked at her and she was so proud. And she said to her, she's seeing a big sister just being protective of her little sister. But because she was a teenage mother at 14, she said she knew that there might have been people who were judging her daughter, thinking that it was her baby. So, you know, when she was sharing it with her husband, she said she was hesitant to share it with her husband. And his automatic response was, it must have been so hard for you to be a mom at 14. So she was scared to share with him for fear of what he would say. And he basically said the perfect thing. He was compassionate towards the fact that it must have been difficult for her to be a mom at 14. And I mean, guys, when I was 14, me did fool. Like, how could I have been somebody's parent? I mean, I can't even fathom being a mother at 14. At 14 you still a watch cartoon sometimes, because I did love Kim Possible. I love that cartoon. And I mean, you know, I just, as I said, it would have been incomprehensible for me. Also, I could not come home and tell my mother and father that I was 14 and pregnant. That's a whole other drama, especially if you know who my parents are. But let's not go there. So, you know, she says, I became so obsessed with other people's opinion of me that I didn't take time to truly examine my heart. And a lot of times we forget about ourselves. And again, yes, I know you still watch cartoon. And yes, Anake, remember you made me start watching your cartoon. What's your name again? Put the name in the group. Your cartoon that you love. I don't remember. But anyways, it's important for us to still maintain that youthfulness. I think those things keep our face looking young. And you know, it keeps us in a youth norm. And Cleveland is a C word. The C cartoon with the weird looking man baby. You know what I talk, man. Anyways, while Anake remembers the name of the cartoon that I'm trying to remember. But remember last week I spoke about the importance of spending time with your kids. So I had said last week that I was sharing 2 movies and I only spoke about Cuties. The other movie was a movie called Dad Wanted, and it's on Netflix as well. And in that movie, it was about a girl who her dad had died. No, it's not Family Guy. It starts with C. Oh my god, it's like, anyways, okay, we'll talk more about it after. I'll eventually. No, Family Guy is an adult cartoon. Some cartoons are for adults, guys. Remember, like SpongeBob is filled with adult innuendos. I don't think that SpongeBob was made for kids. But kids watch it. But for me, a child under 10 should not be watching anything that does not feed their minds in some way. Either it's going to feed their minds in a way physically, or when I say physically, I mean like they're going to enjoy it and dance and get active while watching it. And it should teach valuable lessons about being kind, about being loving. It shouldn't be something that is slack. You know, Jamaican people talk about slack or rude or sexually influential, if it's even discreetly. Because like Sesame Street, we all know Sesame Street. Sesame Street taught us so much about being kind, sharing, while teaching us about the alphabet and numbers. And they share, all these fun things that you could do. Mothers and fathers bonding with their children. Also like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He spoke about some really sensitive issues in there in a way that kids could understand. So Mr. Rogers, his voice was kind of slow and it was a little boring sometimes, but the lessons he taught were beautiful. I mean, I remember there was even like, he would talk about what you go through when your parents get a divorce. I watched an episode of Mr. Rogers like that. And there is a Mr. Rogers movie that I think you guys should watch. It has in Tom Hanks. It's a good movie, the movie about Mr. Rogers. So back to Dad Wanted. So in Dad Wanted, the little girl had lost her father, and her mother basically, cut her off from doing the one thing that made her feel connected to her dad. So because of that, she stopped talking to her mother. She didn't talk to her mother for months. And then she used to take, like, it would have been like a taxi service, which would have been like Lyft, or, what the other taxi thing name, I don't even remember. But it's like Lyft, where you go into the app, you call the cab, it comes. She started taking this taxi with a big man who he lost his daughter. So she lost her father, he lost his daughter. And then they created a bond. And in the end, it was just a beautiful story. Good watch. Good watch, showing the importance of speaking to your children, having a relationship with them, creating a bond with them where they feel comfortable to come and speak to you. Because I can tell you, the time them when me never go to my parents and hide and go do things, it's where some of the worst times of my life, where me end up in some situation and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing here? So something to think about. So, I didn't speak about my headdress. Because, I said every week I'll be wearing a headdress to adorn myself. Because I wasn't feeling up to it. This is the first week I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm only wearing a little lip gloss. And my chain says love. Clarence! Yes! I could not remember. Yes, Clarence is a cartoon that Anna Kay loves. And I just think it's, it's funny, but it's kind of weird. I think of him as like a little man child, because this little picnic have such a deep voice. But anyway, and Anna Kay is laughing. So, back to what I was saying, I'm wearing this chain that says love, because as I said, people are forgetting to love each other, and we are so focused on what other people think about us, how other people feel, that we forget to do things for ourselves or focus on ourselves. Now listen to the concept of jealousy and bad mind. How does someone become jealous and bad mind? They are focusing on other people. They're focusing so much on someone else's life that it is stifling their potential. It is stifling their own progress. So instead of using that person's life to motivate you people are using it to harbor hate and negativity and wishing bad on people who don't deserve it. Because some of the people who face the most jealousy and bad mind are some of the nicest, kindest, sweetest, most caring people. Because I know of a lady where that woman is so kind and giving and peaceful. And when I hear people say them don't like her, like you would literally say, watch her, she just hype. Look on her. And I remember turning to someone and say, what you know about the woman? Why you say that about her? What you mean she hype? Well, because she look good? So she must walk around look good. She feel look like what, she not have no yard? Or to look like she's not dressed well? Because she's a manager at a big company. And she always looks good. She doesn't have any kids, so she drives a really nice car. And she's a very nice manager. And people just see her and make assumptions about her because she walks confidently in her own skin, in her nice, cute heels, and coming out of her car that she worked hard to buy. And people just badmine her for what? Because she look good? Because she's successful? Because in their mind she has money? Come on. People, come on. Use these things as your motivation, not as your deterrent. Because the more you stay in the negative, the more you focus on why me not have it, you could be working towards how about I get it for myself. Something to think about. So you know, I'd shared this book before. It says I Need a Drink. And it's a book to basically vent in, and I vent in it because I can't drink. Well, I definitely can't drink like I used to, but I can have an occasional drink, you know, probably a glass of wine or a cocktail, because I have to manage my sugar intake because of my lupus. But you know, God has been good. I'll have like a red stripe light. I love the melon flavor. Big up Reshima, my friend who works at Red Stripe on Fanchon Road. You know, cause that flavor did shot, girl. That flavor shot. I love it. It's my favorite red stripe light. Other people like lemon and syrup. Me never like those flavors. I love the melon. So big up Red Stripe for the melon. So it says, for this venting page, it says, oh, so you hate your job? Oh my God, why didn't you say so? You know, there's a support group for that. It's called Everybody. They meet at the bar. So if you think you're special because you hate your job, join the club. Hardly anybody loves their job. I mean, it's great if you find a job that you love, because when you're doing a job that you love, you enjoy it and you put your all in it. But the reality is most people are doing jobs to put food on their table as opposed to pursuing their passions, which is why it is good to get a side hustle doing something that you love. So when you spend your 9 to 5 doing something that you're just tolerating to get an income, you find your peace in coming home and sewing a shirt if you like to sew, you know, making a candle. I do some light floral arrangement sometimes, and these are things that I didn't used to do before. I developed these skills in the pandemic to make an income when I was not working a traditional job, because my contract had expired, and because I got sick I wasn't able to work a traditional job. What did I do? I built up my company, you know, and I create my gift packages. And this is one. So this is one of my packages on a budget. It's a mason jar with a straw and a Smirnoff ice. This is a budget friendly one for $2,000. This is a lovely gift for like a mommy or a best friend or just a pick me up. So I did that gift for someone. So the other thing I'm going to share from the I Need a Drink book, it says modern life too is often a mechanical oppression and liquor is the only mechanical relief. So instead of taking a drink, I write in my book. So I write about what is frustrating me instead of taking a book. So the thing about the job, that one, that quote was by Drew Carey. and the other quote was from Ernest Hemingway. I'll put it in the bio so you guys will know. So I usually share a product. So the product tonight is another hair mask, and it's one of the packets that I shared last week. So this one is Cantu Shea Butter Natural Hair Deep Treatment Hair Mask made with shea butter. Intense conditioning treatment helps to restore and strengthen dry, damaged hair while boosting moisture retention. No sulfates, no silicones, no paraben or mineral oil. So even though it says it's for natural hair, I think it's good for cream hair as well, because it is something repairing damage. And we're all to repair the damage of our hair, and the fact that there's no sulfates or paraben mean that it is good and nutritious for our hair. Another set of products that I want to share is these two. Now this is definitely more of a natural hair product. So it's 2 bottles. It says Zimi Intense Curl Activator and Intense Curl Gel. So you spray and hydrate your hair with the curl activator, and then you rub it up with the gel. The curls come up pretty nice and moist and not too stiff, because curly hair girls know there are some products when you rub it in your hair, it makes your hair kind of crunchy, and I don't love the crunchy feeling. For me personally, the crunchy feeling is just not natural feeling for me. So I just want to leave one more thing with you guys, because as I said, you know, this week has been difficult, so I'm not as prepared as I usually am. But I'm gonna just share about, you know, facing your truth. So you heard me talk about, you know, living through this time is mentally draining, and for people with physical conditions, stress matriculates into physical feelings of discomfort. You know, some people carry the stress in them back, some people carry the stress in their neck or their joints. You know, tension would come from stress, and then the tension would cause pains. So, you know, if the pain is that bad, you know, take some painkiller, you know, whatever painkiller works from you. But based on the time and because of the flu-like symptoms, it is best to stay in the region of Panadol, you know, things that don't have harsh chemicals that can counteract symptoms that you may face in the COVID. You know, you remember when there was Chick B and you could only take Cetamol and Panadol because of the, I think it's called amphidopine. I think that's the active ingredient. I'll put the right name in the bio. That's the type of painkiller you should stick to, because it is less dangerous when you're experiencing certain types of symptoms, because the other things in the heavier painkillers can counteract with things that you may be taking for the condition that you have. So you have to be very careful what kind of pain medication you take. So facing your truth, acknowledging that your mental health is important to protect your peace. Do not feel ashamed of your issues. And these are things like depression and bipolar feelings. Extreme. So bipolar feelings would be anything that is extreme out of your natural behavior. Extreme in terms of you might get extremely angry, you feel like you want to take up a chair and throw it across the room. That is not normal behavior. And Jamaican people are naturally ignorant people sometimes. We are easy to be angry. I mean, people are just so unkind. You'd be in a line and people are getting upset with each other over something very minor, and it is sad. I mean, even remember when there was that crisis with people buying all this tissue. I mean, people were being so unkind. We saw the videos of the women fighting over tissue. I mean, tissue? Wow. I mean, I thought that was absolutely crazy. And you saw all these memes with people making fun of how tissue apparently gonna cure the COVID. And I mean, they were hilarious. But it was sad that it was really happening. So, you know, we need to stop letting society make us feel bad, mad, and sad for feeling mentally not at peace. That's basically it. We're not at peace mentally. And in an effort to protect your peace, you have to acknowledge that you have a problem. If you go into a place and that place triggers a reality that makes you feel extremely sad, extremely angry, extremely, you know, uncomfortable, you need to look into yourself and acknowledge why that place gives you that feeling. It could be associated with a bad memory. It could be associated with, you know, an ex-boyfriend. It could be associated with your mother and you lost your mom, or your mom is sick. You need to acknowledge that, hey, when I go to that place, it doesn't feel good. So I'm going to avoid that for a while until I can put the thing that it reminds me of in the back of my mind so far back that I don't need to go there. And if it is that you need to go there, when you're going there, put yourself in a good mood. Play your favorite song in your car. Put in your AirPods and stand up at the bus stop and play your favorite song. Get yourself in a zone. So it's almost like you're preparing yourself to say, yeah, you know, I'm going to get ready now. Because for me, like when I'm doing Queens on the Rise and I'm prepping before I go on, what I do right before is I play some songs that I love, and I dance while I put on my makeup, and I dance while I put on my clothes, and I just, you know, I'm just like a whole mood. I have to get in a whole mood to come on to Queens on the Rise. And because I don't like doing it when I'm in a bad mood. And I was in a really bad mood today, and it was out of talking to my dad and one of his really good friends. They got me in a better mood because we were sparking up a very great conversation, which in the upcoming weeks it will spark some topics. So thank you guys so much for joining. I feel like this week was shorter than normal, but I'm not sure because you don't actually see the time. But I'm really grateful for the persons in here who come in every week. I love you guys a lot. So have an excellent week. I hope that, you know, it doesn't get harder, though for the past couple weeks it's been harder and harder for a lot of people. I mean, I know of people who are losing family members every 2 weeks or every week, or would lose multiple family members in 1 week. I mean, this time is really sad, and I'm just praying that, you know, something positive can happen in some way, shape or form, if it's even just one little thing, just to bring back a little hope. So bless up, guys. Love you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all my repeat joiners. Thanks for anyone who is new. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys.